YouTube, what's up? This Dre Hugs. We are live and direct. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. This is part 2 of the Russian-Ukraine situation. But this is not going to be basically on the war itself. It's going to be on the aftermath, what may be to come, and the high gas prices and how high inflation is right now. Now, when it comes to the war itself, the main thing y'all need to take away is that Ukraine is trying to join the EU and NATO. If they actually do that, then that means we might have soldiers go over there, or they might come over here. It might be World War III. Now, that's just dealing with the war itself, but dealing with how it affects us, other than the war might come to our shores, is Joe Biden. Now, I really don't like this individual, but I'm not going to get this video taken down, so I'm not going to say nothing crazy. The reason why I focus solely on the Democrats, even though Democrat, Republican is two wings on one bird, black people have been voting like 85% Democrats since the 60s, and the Democrats have been treating us like crap. And it seemed like me and only a few other people realized how bad the Democrats have been treating black people. But let's just speak on this Democratic president, how bad he's been. Now, the only thing worse than how bad the gas prices is how inflation is at an all-time high, because the Federal Reserve printed out more money than they have in history. Now, since Biden been in office a little over a year now, inflation is up like $150. No, I'm sorry, $511 per year. That means each family is paying $511 more than they was paying the previous year just off inflation alone. Add that to the rising gas prices, which is going to be about $3,000 more. So it's costing more to be under, Biden. It's just costing more. I mean, it's just inflation. Now, on top of inflation being at an all-time high, on his first day in office, Biden decided it was a good idea to cancel all oil and gas leasing on federal lands, and basically cancel the Keystone XL pipeline. What that means is, previously, we were like 90% dependent on our own oil and gas and heating and electricity. Now we like 0% or close to 0%. We basically get our oil and gas from every other country. So we gonna shut down what we build and drill ourselves and buy from other people. The reason why they do that, or said they doing that, is because the Green New Deal, or some type of something that's supposed to stop global warming. That's complete nonsense, because not saying global warming is a hoax, but the earth heat and cool on its own without we not causing the heat up or decline of the temperature on earth. That's scientific facts. Humans have nothing to do with the rising and lowering of the temperature of the earth over a period of time. Now, we do got something to do with pollution and over deforestation. That's a completely different subject. But what Democrats think is a good idea is to do some electric deal that really don't make no sense, because we don't have the infrastructure to do that right now. In the future, it would be cool to have all electric cars, but we've had electric cars since 1900s or earlier. So no, Rockefeller and them is the ones that got the world depending on oil. Take that up with them. Right now, they saying in the name of climate change, we're gonna stop all our oil producing, but we're gonna buy oil from other people. Now, the only way that this whole green initiative will work is if every country around the world decided, hey, we're going to stop using fossil fuels and we all going electric. Then it might work. One little country stopping us, stopping at the possible worst time in history, stop producing energy ourselves, but we buying it from people like Russia and Iran and all, we buying it from other people. It doesn't make sense, because other people are still drilling, fracking, whatever you call it, depending on natural resources. So if everybody stop as a collective, then we might see some change, but everybody not stopping. China already said they're not going to stop. Russia not going to stop. And that's just that. So on top of all that, Joe Biden thought it was another good idea to ban all Russian imports, which does not hurt Russia at all. I don't know why they thought that was going to hurt Russia, but it's not. Russia, they produce their energy for their whole country and most of Europe. So this move is just going to hurt everyday ordinary people. Sanctions hurt everyday ordinary people, not people like Vladimir Putin. Now, one pushback the Democrats always say It's like, oh, Biden, there's 9,000 leases that are untapped and being unused. Now, what Biden and them won't tell you is they untapped and unused because the supply chain messed up, which means there's no reason to drill oil right here in one of these 9,000 places when you can't get the oil from nowhere because he shut the pipeline down. So it's just an all-around mess that they running y'all in circles. Stop falling for this Democratic nonsense, man. And this is what Biden promised the American people and didn't deliver on none of it. He promised to get every American vaccinated, which hasn't happened. My favorite is that he promised to cancel student loan debt, which I could have benefited from. He did not. He promised universal child care, which he did not. He promised to rebuild the middle class. Everything I said in this video literally destroys the middle class. He planned to Build Back Better bill, which also helps destroy the middle class. He didn't pass that either. He passed for equal voting rights, which means absolutely nothing because black people voted for Democrats at over 80% rate since 1960. Didn't do that either though. He returned to normalcy, which would never happen because of the C word. And he said he gonna restore the solar nation. Now, in closing, I just want to say that I think Biden purposely is destroying the middle class, which will in turn destroy this country and make it nothing but elite rich people and extremely poor people. Now, an example of that is when, well, first of all, he can't beat his incompetent, so he's doing it on purpose, him and his cabinet. Now, when he shut down the Keystone Pipeline, 12 million jobs were lost. We produced 80% of our own energy. I said 90 earlier, my bad. It's actually 80% of our own energy. Now we do not produce 80% of our own energy. And lastly, when he shut the pipeline down, and our own energy was 8% of our GDP. That means the gross domestic product. That's major. You need to comprehend how much that is and how big of a blow that is to everyday American people. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I ain't gonna make this video too long or longer than it already is, but it's getting wild out here. And we got one person to thank. Thanks, Joe.